Fort Wayne Tower, November, 5933 Hotel, runway 5, ready to depart.
5933 Hotel, Fort Wayne Tower, wind 0707, cleared for takeoff. Have a safe flight.
We are off on our journey.
Our country is on fire right now with fires, looting, and murders. It has happened many times in the past, but not as alarming as this one. Racial tensions are at a breakpoint. Cops are hated, spit on, and killed. Some cities want to cut funding to their police force. Businesses are vandalized and burnt down. Yes, we saw a black man murdered by a white cop recently. It was terrible, horrendous, and inexcusable. Peaceful protests followed, the proper thing to do. At the same time, two black men who were looting a store shot and killed a retired black police officer. What was supposed to be peaceful protests around the country have turned into mob action, and yes, anarchy. Antifa is an everyday word now, and they have been labeled a terrorist organization. Let's be real, there are hundreds of hate groups, extremists, and ideologies out there besides Antifa. A few are Black Lives Matter, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, Ku Klux Klan, Nation of Islam, New Black Panthers, MS-13, and White Lives Matter. Some of these groups have hijacked the peaceful protests which are seeking social justice and use vulgarity, rioting, looting, killing, and resistance to established government. In fact, any action is justified. Racial tensions have always been with us. Whether you are black, white, Hispanic, Indian, Jewish, Japanese, or other, you have deep down thoughts about other races. It is part of your body, soul, and spirit. And how do you handle those thoughts? Let's take a look at the man-centered approach to social justice. There are many man-made artificial philosophical systems which have been tried, and they all have failed. Just look at socialism and communism. They involve some sort of welfare state in which the government attempts to redistribute wealth, and eventually the recipients become dependent on the government. The government attains more and more power and becomes godlike. The present political climate, which this is an election year, is helping fuel the fire of protest, unrest, and anarchy. We are only a few months away from a very important election, one in which we will see God's unfolding plan for America and the world. How about a few basic thoughts and one-liners regarding social justice? Life is not fair. Fairness can never be truly achieved by mankind. Fairness as a concept is not found in the Bible. Human imperfection always results in social collapse. Poverty will always exist in human society. There will always be an impoverished underclass. John 12 verses 4 through 8. In the end, every man's work will amount to nothing. The world will always be an unjust place because it is full of unjust people. Only God is just. Deuteronomy 32 verse 4. Evil men do not understand justice. Proverbs 28 verse 5. True social justice is impossible for any but those who have believed the gospel message. The Bible does not teach equality as the solution to social stability. Now let's turn to the Bible and see some of the basics from a Christian view of social justice. The Bible makes it very clear that we are born with a sin nature. And the very key thought for all of us, no matter what race you are, is that we all have one common mom. Just think about that. The gospel leans towards social justice, in which God's people are meant to use their power to break down social barriers. Biblical justice has eternity in mind and teaches us to look to God's standard of right and wrong. What is God's approach? Christ is our Savior. Isaiah 1 verse 17, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Micah 6 verse 8, he has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. Mankind will always attempt to create social justice on this earth. It will never happen. Only when Jesus returns to establish his kingdom will there be social justice and fairness in this world. You can start on your road to helping and furthering the cause of social justice by accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Use God's power. The Bible makes social justice a mandate of truth, faith, and a fundamental expression of Christian discipleship. As a Christ follower, are you practicing social justice that is biblical, based on humility, love, kindness, and truthfulness? If so, how are you practicing social justice? Some examples are protect the vulnerable, the young, the very old, the unborn, terminally ill, disabled, the poor, the unpopular, and more. Some social justice issues are abortion, social reconciliation, religious liberty, sex trafficking, and more. Do your part until Christ returns. Time is short.